Welcome to the News9 Plus Show on the world's first news and current affairs OTT platform, News9 Plus. Congress Mukt Bharat, or an India free from the Congress party rule, used to be something the BJP came up with around a decade ago. Now this Congress Mukt Bharat nearly came to pass last year when, after successive defeats in Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh was the last state where the Congress is still in power. The last state, north of the Vindhyas, that is. Now this is a scenario the grand old party has never seen in its history post-independence. And now we are hearing there's trouble within its last North Indian bastion, Himachal Pradesh as well. Joining me to discuss this, the BJP on the offensive with a new T20 approach, are Suresh Kochetil, political analyst, Manasvi Thapar, and my colleague Kartikeya Sharma, who's just back after a whole spate of interviews at the TV9 Bharatvarsh Satta Sammelan. Gentlemen, welcome to the News9 Plus Show. I want to start by asking Kartikeya, Shimla, Himachal Pradesh, enormously symbolic for the Congress. Remember in July 2003, that's when the Congress came out with this plan that, look, maybe we are not a great party anymore and it's time to work with coalition allies. That paid them off really well. 10 years, UPA 1, UPA 2, and now you have the party reduced to that one shrinking bastion and they're struggling to preserve that. What does the future hold for the Congress in Himachal?
See, if Himachal falls, then Congress is not in power in any state in North India.
It's never happened before.
On its own, yes. It's in power in an alliance in Jharkhand. It was in power in an alliance with Nitish Kumar in Bihar. It means that Congress becomes absent from North India as a party which has a functional government.
Right.
But I think the bigger story is that the person who led the revolt was the man who defeated the sitting chief minister.
Yes.
Now, what sort of a management is that
Yeah.
the party organizational secretary has no idea that unrest is brewing within the party. And third, the lack of discipline tells us that the Gandhis are not in direct control of the party.
Right.
For this to have happened 10 years or 15 years ago would have been unimaginable.
Yeah.
Now this happens every 15th day, and local leaders are holding press conferences indicating that they don't fear the might of Delhi.
Right.
Ashok Gehlot did it openly during
Yes.
Bharat Jodo Yatra. But since Bharat Jodo Yatra was a success,
Yes.
the rebellion died.
Right.
And it did not invite a lot of eyebrows because people were focused on Rahul Gandhi.
Right.
So what is happening in Himachal is, though they might save the government because, couple of MLAs have been now debarred
Right.
to vote in the money will, which would allow the government to sail through. It tells us that apart from doing yatras and connecting with people, if you cannot have a control on your lawmakers, legislators, then it is a very sad story. Then I would say that the Congress has become socialist of 60s and 70s.
Right.
And the joke was, सत्ता में तो आ सकते हैं, चलाना नहीं आता.
Right. I mean, a very important point there. सत्ता में आ सकते हैं लेकिन चलाना नहीं आता. And the point that you made, Kartikeya, very important. I'm going to ask Manasvi this. The fact that high command used to be this thing that would terrify people into submission.
The joke
in
which
the old
Congress
days.
used to make against Jansangh was, इनके दियों में वो कोई तेल नहीं, शासन करना कोई खेल नहीं.
खेल नहीं. But Manasvi, what are we looking at now? Is the Congress high command, the central organ of the party, losing its relevance now, and the states are spinning out of control? We've seen that in the past, in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, so one thing which we have to give it to BJP is the RSS factor there.
Yeah.
But other thing which we are missing on the Congress, why they are missing out is, which even they would not have realized is, there was something which Kartikeya could relate would be, they had something known as Seva Dal. Seva Dal was like a grassroots level organization
Absolutely.
which used to gather grassroots leaders and turn them into chief ministers and the national leaders then in the Congress.
Right.
But right now Seva Dal is effectively ineffective. So that is one part which they didn't take care of it. Why they didn't think about Seva Dal as an organization as a foot soldiers for Congress was because they was continuously winning it. They never thought that they'll be out of power for 10 long years, and now after 24 we'll see 15 long years. They never thought that they'll be out of power because there was no opposition. And simultaneously there was something which was already building up since 2014, 2012 onwards, when Narendra Modi ji took the center stage in Gujarat, when he spoke in Hindi for the first time after winning the Gujarat election, was creating a cadre, creating a page pramukh, a block pramukh, and then that narrative turned out to be a larger narrative in 2014, consolidated in 2019, and simultaneously in the Congress there was nothing like which was create and which would stop that empire to fall. Brick by brick it was falling every day, and there was no Fevicol movement for the Congress to consolidate their bricks or consolidate their foot soldiers. That was not done. So that think tank is still missing. So they are winning where there is an anti-incumbency factor from the BJP angle, where there is BJP is present in a lesser quantity, or they're fighting with a regional political party. Out front fighting with BJP, where BJP is strong, they're losing it out. So this is something which Congress have not yet understood, and right now I think their think tank is working on ki Rajniti to theek hai. Let's make Rahul Gandhi as a Jan Nayak, like the JP of modern times. But that JP of modern time is also not having that connect, that grassroots connect is not happening. Right now also our discussion is all about what is wrong with Congress, what is BJP doing good, but the narrative is still not there that second Bharat Jodo Yatra is so effective that he's going to turn the courts and he's going to turn the players,
No,
he's
in
going to turn
fact,
the voters.
Manasvi,
That's
I'm
not
going
happening.
to bring Suresh in at this point. Suresh, right now, even as we speak here, there are two parallel narratives on if you look across India. There is Prime Minister Modi, who's literally on a blitzkrieg of inaugurating projects which his government has steered over the last couple of years, with the highest, railway bridge, one of the longest high-altitude tunnels, the Ram Temple, of course. He's gone and inaugurated projects in Tamil Nadu worth 17,000 crores, and he's telling the people, look, the UPA did nothing for you, and here we are. And then the other narrative you have of Rahul Gandhi walking and talking, right? So there are two competing narratives. There is a talker and there's a doer. So the people have to choose in a few weeks from now. What will happen if the Congress doesn't manage to convert Rahul Gandhi's rhetoric, this thing of what Manasvi said of being a mass leader, into votes? What happens to the Congress if it loses a third Lok Sabha elections in a row?
Well, I think 2024 is done and dusted. If you ask any politician or even analyst, they'll tell you that it's only a question how many more or a bit less that BJP will get. So the question is very simple. In case of Rahul Gandhi, the problem is that he's never held accountable for any of the defects. You see that. I heard that when the last Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan debacle happened, at the AICC headquarters, there was a review meeting and Rahul Gandhi blamed everybody except himself. I was actually joking on Twitter that he would have even blamed the office boy and the chaiwala and even the security guard at the AICC headquarters. What is it all about? How many times can you get away from, taking only the authority without the responsibility? You need to be accountable for what you do. I mean, you look at Goa as an example. I'll give you, I think it was maybe a decade ago, or maybe I'm lesser than that. You remember, there was a problem in Goa. Congress had a majority, a slight majority, and BJP was trying to cobble up. Chidambaram, I think, was sent from Delhi to go and kind of do the thing, fight the fire and get Congress sworn in. Our man went straight from the airport and went to the hotel and slept off. And by next morning when he woke up, the BJP had a government in place.
That's right.
So this is what BJP is. I mean, they are being aggressive. Don't blame them saying that they are aggressive. They are. I mean, that is what politics is all about. You need to win and you need to fight your way as long as unethical, ethical and all is there.
But you need to fight, you need to win.
And
I think, like the theme of today's discussion is the BJP's T20 hits, right? I mean, they've literally turned Indian political electioneering on its head. Indian elections used to be fought like test cricket matches, Kartikeya, and the BJP under Prime Minister Modi and Home Minister Shah, they've converted it into a T20 match.
I think the fundamental shift which happened, it's like if you may allow me to use this word, it's like Dhirubai against Badias.
absolutely.
80s.
Yes.
Or it's like the new money against the old, that
New
ferocity.
money. That's a good analogy. That the dynast versus the challenger.
So what did Dhirubhai do? He broke the equilibrium. A lot of people said, no, he didn't do this right. People say first generation's wealth is always, there's always blood on the floor. It doesn't come like that. But he broke the equilibrium. He broke the old connected money.
Absolutely. Old money.
Old money.
So it is old, new money breaking into old money.
So what has BJP done? Sandeep, one, constant messaging, which was not something which Congress would do. If you recall that in summer, you would find ministers have taken a break. In winters, people would take a break.
Of course, Rajiv Gandhi famously did it in Lakshadweep.
So, even Vajpayee was part of the same tradition. He went to Kumaragam.
Yes.
But what has happened is that Modi has done something different with people's perception of governance. Constantly working, constantly messaging, constantly creating new goals, constantly giving you a report card that we have done it, and constantly erecting a narrative which subsumes criticism. In the sense, if you recall in our News9 Global Summit, Prime Minister said, in my third term, I am going to do this. In Satta Ka Sammelan, Amit Shah was saying that I may not be alive, but 2047, this is where we are going to be. Now, this is something which can be drawn from RSS. This long planning is part of RSS culture. It is not even part of BJP culture. So, the joke or the people in the lighter vein and banter says the RSS doesn't plan for next 5 years. The planning within the RSS when they have a meeting is for next 20 years, 25 years. So where is the question? He is not even talking about election. One gentleman is not talking about election. The another gentleman is talking about 2047. So this narrative subsumes the narrative of India, which is only talking about today and tomorrow. So that is a fundamental shift that has taken place. And for the government to utilize certain words, Yug, epoch, Kal Chakra, Amrit Kal, it's saying that we are not a government that has succeeded UPA. We represent a discontinuity in the modern nation state. It's like a second republic. They will. It's not being said. I know it will create a lot of heated discussion. Every republic is not always drawn from or built on the blood and the bodies. But this has happened in India out of electoral process. There's a clear break from the past, both in process, product and symbol. From Singhal to new parliament, from 7 RCR, from Rajpath to Kartavya Path, to Lok Kalyan Marg,
Racecourse Road to Lok Kalyan
Marg. These are not the generic nomenclature change. It is affecting a behavioral shift, and I would say the only continuity I find is, and perhaps that is something because of the mandate which Modi enjoys, and the only other person who could do with this was Indira Gandhi, to talk about duties in constitution. So this is a fundamental shift.
I think and that's increasingly what he told us at the TV9 Global Summit as well, that my third term is, I am going to be doing a lot more in the third term. We don't know, what he means by that, but clearly there will be something very significant.
This is fundamental. I am not writing a sort of a chapter on saying Modi ji did this, bahut badhiya, bahut badhiya. No, this is not shabashi thing. The issue is, points he have raised are primarily fundamental issues. They not only make him a successor to UPA, he is talking about this entity being a different beast altogether. Did you see Manmohan Singh inaugurating every project?
Absolutely, he's inaugurated several projects.
But not like Prime Minister Modi. So there's a different in pace. There are things which are being very differently. And today, what Prime Minister has said, I had a discussion. For the first time, Prime Minister has raised the issue of Dharma and Astha in Tamil Nadu. It's a very slippery slope for any leader, but he has taken up that challenge.
And in a state where
he has said it,
where you have an atheist party,
absolutely,
a group for the last half century,
and he has said it. They walked out. DMK walked out of the Ram Mandir Pratishthan resolution. So I'm saying that what he might He might have to pay a price for it in Tamil Nadu. But I'm saying it's fundamentally a shift in politics.
It's a fundamentally
That's the point I'm trying to reiterate.
In fact, Kartikeya, I want to bring in that interview that you did of Mallikarjun Kharge, the Congress president. Let's take a look at that.
संदेश खली को लेके पार्टी का रुख क्या है? संदेश खली मीडिया में रहा, खबरें आई, औरतों के साथ एट्रॉसिटी हुई, एनसीडब्ल्यू की टीम गई, तमाम चीज़ें हुई, पॉलिटिक्स हुई, आपके नेता अधीर रंजन चौधरी ने जंगल राज बोला। संदेश खली मसले पर कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष मल्लिकार्जुन खड़गे जी का क्या कहना है?
देखिए, किसानों के बारे में तो हमको कुछ करना ज़रूरी है और उसको लीगल गारंटी देने का वायदा तो हमने किया है। मेरी पहली घोषणा ये रही, अगर गठबंधन सरकार आई तो किसानों को हम एमएसपी लागू यानी लीगलाइज्ड कर देंगे, उसको मदद करेंगे और जो चीज़ें हम कर सकते हैं ज़रूर उनके लिए करेंगे। ये नहीं कि जो चीज़ें हम नहीं कर सकते वो भरोसा दे, वो ठीक कभी नहीं होता। और दूसरी चीज़ अधीर रंजन चौधरी का क्या बोले अब
कि जंगल राज है पश्चिम बंगाल में संदेश खली, जहां महिलाओं के साथ अत्याचार हुआ।
देखो, वहाँ पर हमेशा ये चलते रहता है कि एक तरफ कांग्रेस पार्टी के लोग हैं, एक तरफ कम्युनिस्ट के हैं, एक तरफ टीएमसी है। तो ये चीज़ें राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर उसके बारे में मैं ज़्यादा कमेंट नहीं करना चाहता हूँ।
पर महिलाओं पे अत्याचार?
नो, महिलाओं का हम कंडम करते हैं ना, महिलाओं का अत्याचार कंडम करते हैं, इसीलिए तो हम लड़ रहे हैं। अरे इस देश में साहब वोटिंग पावर महिलाओं को किसने लाया? आज़ादी के बाद अगर किसी ने महिलाओं को वोटिंग पावर दिया है वो कांग्रेस ने दिया है। अडल्ट फ्रेंचाइज इससे पहले इंग्लैंड में नहीं था, फ्रांस में नहीं था, यानी बहुत लेट करके वो लोग दिए। यूके में नहीं था, यूएस में नहीं था। अरे जो पार्टी हुकूमत में आई और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को स्वीकार किया, उसी दिन महिलाओं को भी इक्वल राइट्स दिया और अडल्ट फ्रेंचाइज के तहत गरीब अमीर महिला पुरुष सबको समान दृष्टि से हमने दिया। वो हम सबको सम्मान करते हैं।
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया खड़गे साहब।
Did he strike you as being very defensive, Kartikeya, Mr. Kharge?
I think so. He was defensive. He was defensive on Sandesh Khali.
Yeah.
He evaded all the questions. I asked him. He spoke on MSP. Then second time I asked him, quoting Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, he took a, it spoke on a different issue. I reminded him that, I'm talking about women atrocity. He spoke about women's right.
Right.
When I asked him the first question, he spoke about himself, that he comes from a Dalit background.
And his freedom struggle.
And freedom struggle. Yeah. There are events which are not in control of Mr. Kharge.
Yes.
And he knows it. There are things beyond him.
He's been brought in as the fall guy, a lot of people.
Fall guy, and there are things beyond Mr. Kharge. He understands that.
Right.
He understands that. I really don't want to use the words because they become very contentious. I'm not going to use, Bahadur Shah Zafar or Ahmad Shah Rangila. I'm not going to use those words.
Right.
But I'm saying that maybe he represents the last of the old stalwarts of the Congress.
Last of the old stalwarts.
Old stalwarts. He's not a new politician.
No, and in fact, since you mentioned Tamil Nadu, I'm going to bring in Manasvi on this. Manasvi, the BJP has a strategy to 400 par, right? Ab ki baar 400 par, and the BJP on its own needs to get about 370 seats. That's what the Prime Minister says. How critical are the southern states for this? I mean, as we speak, the Prime Minister is there in Tamil Nadu and inaugurating a lot of projects. But what are the prospects of a BJP win? Could the BJP be looking at its first Lok Sabha seats in the southern states, where it's never won a Lok Sabha seat?
See, by hook or crook, BJP is known for winning it. Be it Chandigarh or the outreach for the Chandigarh mayor election or for the outreach for the southern states, they would want to win it. How do they get into it? That's something we can debate upon. So the outreach program is very well taken. If you take it symbolically, one thing which comes out symbolically for the Hindu voters from the South bloc would be that Ram Mandir ki jo murti hai na, Bhagwan Ram South se aaye.
South
So
se.
this particular,
Sculpted by a southern sculptor.
Yeah. So that outreach program is also very well taken. So anything and everything just does not happen by chance in BJP.
Yes.
So if I take you to 2014, before 2014 was that any foreigner who used to come to India, they used to see Mughal-made monuments like the Taj Mahal, the likes of the Lal Killa. But now, post 2014, specifically after 19, we have seen Modi-made monuments like Statue of Unity is there, like the riverfront of Gujarat is there, Ram Mandir now is there. So Modi-made stuff. So now the symbolic,
that's interesting.
Modi-made monuments. So these things, these things are psychologically driven. So now the comparative understanding is Amritkal starts now when Modi ji came out. Before that, it was a Bhutkal or a Bhutkal. Amrit is right now. So that narrative is psychologically affecting the voters so well. So in these understandings, so what they are trying to say is that we are ready. In the recent speeches of all the stalwarts of BJP, they have not talked about Congress Mukt Bharat or that's a gone thing. Though they are taking care of all the understanding, even right now they are taking people from Congress, SP and all the other parties in their parties. They are very concerned about it. But the narrative is that we don't care about them. We are talking about how do we take India into a Viksit Bharat. The narrative of telling to the people that elections to aayenge jayenge, we don't care about it. But we are talking about how do we take India to the bullet train level. In my third term, bullet train is going to be a reality. So these narratives,
aspirational
people
India.
are not, apart from Hindu Mahapurush, people are seeing him as a Vikas Mahapurush. So that is what he's presenting to the new voters. That I don't get into the caste creed of the vote bank politics. I talk about a developed India. So this narrative with the young voters is very much effective, be it from the South, Middle or the North India. It is going to be collectively voting for the first time voter is going to go for Modi. There's no doubt about it because he's touching all the points of it.
He's touching all the points, and in fact, Suresh, this thing of, do you think that the Nari Shakti drive, to target women voters and like we were talking about the youth connect that the Prime Minister has, do you think that would be enough to break into the South? Because that's an area where you have 127 Lok Sabha seats. BJP has just won about 25 of them. Do you think these two pillars would be very critical for the BJP to break into the South?
Well, let us look at Andhra Pradesh. I don't think BJP has much of a chance in Andhra Pradesh because they never built up a lead. And one person was responsible for that not happening is Venkaiah Naidu. He made sure nobody above him would grow under his feet also. So effectively, when he was put in a loop line posting as the vice president, after that, there been no leader in Andhra Pradesh. So Andhra Pradesh can be shut off for the next 15, 20 years unless they find another Annamalai there. Okay, come to Telangana. Revanth Reddy says that we will win 10 seats out of the 17 in Telangana. One goes to MIM, so that makes it about 6 being left. And today he's made a statement saying he's challenged KTR saying, win one Lok Sabha seat and show it to me. Which means effectively, 4 seats which BJP had, Revanth Reddy is factoring in Shevella and maybe Mahbub Nagar or Zahirabad for that matter, where there's a big Lingayat community from Karnataka on that side of the district. So you have the chance that BJP might pick up 6. Now, imagine this BJP never had a single MP in the past, except maybe one MP from Secunderabad always, which is their bastion. Be it Bandaru Dattatreya or after that now Kishan Reddy. But look at the way situation is right now. They have 8 MLAs in the assembly. 6 of them are first timers who never been in politics before. And that is what is happening. 20 years ago, where was BJP in Karnataka? They were nowhere. Absolutely. And we all know what happened to Kerala. Yesterday, I found Shashi Tharoor making this statement saying Hinduism doesn't work in Kerala. And if somebody records that statement and takes it to North India and places it there, Congress will lose whatever chances it had. There's no chance, but still it would lose. That is the point. I think what BJP is doing in Telangana, I can speak because I'm from here, even though I'm originally from Kerala, but they should thank Revanth Reddy for finishing off BRS, because what happens then is that BJP becomes the second force in Telangana. So after Karnataka, BJP's beachhead is Telangana, where they already have 4 MPs, 8 MLAs. Now look at Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu, BJP or Congress has never been contesting on their own. They've always been holding on to the coattails of the DMK or the AIDMK. It is something similar in Punjab. Where has BJP won more than 2 or 3 seats in Punjab? Never. So that is what BJP needs to do in building up Annamalai. I think that's a brilliant strategy. Forget winning 2024 because that will take care of now. But Annamalai is building up for the next 10 years to 15 years. And he's one leader which BJP has given a free hand, saying do what you want, but bring in the votes. And it's not easy to change the Dravidian mentality overnight. It will take time. And that young voters whom you spoke about, who have yet been not brainwashed, something similar in Kerala, where the SFI and the KSU and the DYFI, the brainwashing takes place at the school level in Kerala. You know it very well. So when they grow up with that mentality. If that can be broken and that can be done, I think BJP has a chance, maybe in the next 5 years in Tamil Nadu. But right now, these two states, Karnataka and Telangana, BJP should go all out. And it is going all out. At least in Telangana, they're trying really hard. And Modi ji is trying really hard in Tamil Nadu and Kerala. I mean, imagine how many visits has he made.
Absolutely.
That is what the most important thing is. Thoothukudi, he went and launched a project. Why? It is very important to know what Thoothukudi was all about. The Sterlite plant, the way it was closed down. That is important. There was a significance in that. And the number of projects that he's inaugurating is free. I think I've forgotten the count of it. And that is, I think, most of us would
He's made the most number of visits down to the south. But I'm afraid we're completely out of time, Suresh.
One more point before I close. 30 seconds, as Anand Ranganathan would say. This is what happened. He addressed a Mahila Sammelan in Trishur about a month and a half ago. Why did he do it? Why? There is a significance in that. I think there is a message in that that is going out specifically to the women voters in down south.
Absolutely. Women voters, the youth, they're going to be very important pillars of the BJP's southern surge, this BJP's T20 style electioneering that they've introduced their party into. But thank you very much, Manasvi and Suresh, for joining us this afternoon. Kartikeya continues to stay with me for our next segment on the Mumbai makeover, where we're looking at a new Central Vista style redevelopment of the area around Mantralaya. India's national capital, Delhi, has its Central Vista project. Now Mumbai, India's financial capital, is getting its own version of the Central Vista. The Maharashtra government plans to redevelop the area around Mantralaya, the seat of power in South Mumbai. It's getting a new Vidhan Sabha to seat all the MLAs. Joining me to discuss this are senior journalist Sanjay Jog, former Secretary Urban Development, Dr. Sudhir Krishna, and my colleague Kartikeya Sharma, and Kiran Tare, my colleague in Mumbai. Is Mumbai getting a Central Vista project like New Delhi?
Absolutely. This has been in discussion for a long. There has been a talk of basically redevelopment and redoing of Mantralaya, which is the seat of power in the South Mumbai, but this never took up. You maybe recall in 2012 there was a major fire in Mantralaya. At that time also Chhagan Bhujbal was the public works minister. He also moved aggressively that it's a high time that the Mantralaya redevelopment should take place. It was not just the Mantralaya. There is just opposite, opposite. There's a new administrative building that should be redeveloped, and alongside there are mini cottages like ministerial bungalows.
Ministerial bungalows.
I still recall when I used to cover Ram Rao Adik as a finance minister in 1991-92. He was the first guy as a finance minister had moved this concept even prior to that also. But it just went on behind this always a cupboard or maybe on files. Nothing moved on. Now with yesterday's announcement, it seems that the government here is quite serious. Just to tell you the brief for the readers or the viewers' interest, Mantralaya and around is having about 14 to 15 acres of land. Right now, Mantralaya is a bank opposite side, and just opposite side to Mantralaya is a Vidhan Bhavan. All Mantralaya, small bungalows, and behind that is Vidhan Bhavan. Just to tell again to the viewers, this Vidhan Bhavan was inaugurated when A.R. Antule was the chief minister in 1981, and Indira Gandhi had specially come from Delhi to inaugurate that. So the entire area is now surrounded by, you have got all those Air India, Indian Express, Nirmal, all those buildings. And
in fact, Sanjay, if you give me a minute, I'm just going to show our viewers what we are looking at, this Central Vista in Mumbai, the redevelopment. If you could have the BG here. Now that is the Mantralaya, that's the seat of the administration right now. These are the ministerial bungalows all the way up to Marine Drive. That is the iconic Air India building which the Maharashtra state government purchased last November for 1,600 crore. That's of course the Express Towers where I began my career. And that of course is the Mantralaya and the new administrative buildings. The Vidhan Sabha is there south somewhere. So what you're looking at is a redevelopment of this entire region, which, as Sanjay just mentioned, it's over 40 acres. It's very critical. It's some of the priciest real estate in Mumbai.
14 to 15 acres of land.
Right.
It's quite, as you rightly said, it's a very prestigious kind of an area.
Yes.
The estimated, the investment or the capital expenditure that the government is looking at is about 7,500 crore.
Right.
A series of meetings have been held.
Yes.
Internal reports are being prepared.
Right.
And only after that, it was announced by the finance minister and deputy chief minister, Ajit Pawar, that they are going to rope in internationally acclaimed architect, basically to prepare an exhaustive plan. Because what it involves is huge. Yeah. It involves the reconstruction of Mantralaya.
Yeah.
It also involves the right now multi-story, about 20-odd story Vidhan Bhavan, which has got a central hall. Yeah. It also involves the reconstruction, demolition of the existing these cottages come bungalows, and construction of the towers, which will house not only just the ministers but the bureaucrats and IPS officers. So it's a huge project.
It's a huge project, and I want to bring in Dr. Krishna here, Sanjay. Dr. Krishna, how significant is this redevelopment project for Mumbai? I mean, this is another gigantic project. We're looking at several such projects in the last decade or so, but how is this going to be different? How will it reimagine the power structure of the state government in South Mumbai?
Well, I think the central vista and the area surrounding it, whatever it comprises, it represents the power seat of the government.
Yes.
And therefore, in a way, it represents the people of Maharashtra.
Right.
And therefore, it's a very good idea to have a more modern and decent looking redevelopment of the area. So that is one. I only hope that the vision is properly reflected.
Yes.
And the heritage of the state and the aspirations of the people are captured in the design of the area. It's a wonderful project. I hope every state starts such project. After Delhi, the next is Mumbai, and I hope other states also follow and develop their seat of capital also on these grounds.
Right.
But I would go a step further and say that such projects should be taken up for districts also. In the district headquarters also, such projects will be, it will improve the quality of life. It will make people happier.
Yes.
They will be proud of their city, proud of their state. So it's a wonderful project, I suppose. And a lot of people should get together to design it. And they are already gathering. A lot of experts are gathering. People of different mindset and different expectations, different ideas. To get together for developing the layout of the area.
Absolutely.
And also, it can be made cost effective also. It need not be like one-way traffic on drain on a state exchequer. Properly designed,
properly designed. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Kartikeya, since you study politics so closely, what is the philosophy behind all these new redevelopment, projects like in Central Vista in Delhi? It's about essentially a new aspiring India that's positioning itself as the top 3 economies by 2047. What is the political underlying philosophy behind this?
You see, spaces are reflection of human discourse.
Yes.
Spaces reflect state of economy. Spaces reflect state of power. Spaces reflect state of social consensus.
Yes.
And spaces also mark the people in power.
Right.
Those who are dispossessed don't control the space.
Right.
And they neither control the architecture nor the philosophy behind it. So if you look at redevelopment of the Central Vista in Delhi, there was attention to detail given to the war memorial, which Prime Minister Narendra Modi brought. The last time something of that happened in a piecemeal way was after 1971 war.
Right.
Though Jawaharlal Urban Renewal Mission had been part of it, but vistas are more politically promising, visually more effective, and lasting in terms of durability, in terms of political memory.
Right.
When you remake a space like that, you are also asserting yourself as the maker of new India.
Right.
Because when you say makers of modern India, that time has gone away.
Right.
Now the issue is, where is the political contest?
Right.
It lies in consultation.
Right.
Unlike the constituent assembly where people were took into confidence, the consultations happened.
Yeah.
I think in this government with the mandate they have decided to go there and stamp themselves in.
Right.
See, BJP and RSS cannot take the credit for creating the modern vistas or the Shastri Bhavan or so many other things, Bhilai, Tata Steel plant.
Yes.
But they can always take credit for creating the new parliament of this country.
Absolutely.
Recreating the central vista. And if they can do it in Mumbai, the architecture will reflect the political philosophy of Bharatiya Janata Party or New India, not even Bharatiya Janata Party. The new mandate, I'll change it. It represents the philosophy of the new mandate.
Right, right. Absolutely. Very, very good, interesting observations there, Kartikeya, as always. I want to bring in Kiran, my colleague in Mumbai. Kiran, you know what, taking off from what Kartikeya mentioned, the fact that how the BJP and the RSS would like to leave its stamp on this new India, as they've done with the Central Vista, what are the plans that the BJP, Sena, NCP coalition in Maharashtra have for the Central Vista? And I'm saying this with a lot of seriousness because given the political instability in Maharashtra, where you have so many coalitions and you have had multiple chief ministers, can one party really hope to make the kind of changes there on the Central Vista, like for instance the BJP has in New Delhi?
See, earlier when the Congress and NCP were in power, the original plan was to rebuild the Mantralaya, because Mantralaya was built way back in 1970s.
Right.
It's a very old building, not in a good shape.
Not in
so
good
the plan
shape,
was to demolish Mantralaya and rebuild it again.
Right.
Then the ministers' bungalows were added, and now the Bharatiya Janata Party and the NCP and the Shiv Sena government, they also want to demolish the legislative, the Vidhan Bhavan.
Right.
So a whole area of 50 acres will be come in under one umbrella, and that will create a new, actually new territory for Mumbai.
Right.
See, Nariman Point has been known for the office spaces.
Yes.
But in last few years, Nariman Point has been really vacant.
Yeah.
Most of the offices are shifted to central Mumbai.
Right.
In BKC or in Kurla or in Parel, all those areas. When Central Vista kind of thing is reshaping, rebuilding in Mumbai's prominent business district, the business will be back in those sides. A metro station is coming on the side. There's a Vidhan Bhavan station. There is a Churchgate railway station, the metro station.
Right.
So business will be back. This is another angle to that project as well.
Yes.
Plus, what Devendra Fadnavis is saying, that the number of legislators will go on after 2026 after the delimitation exercise.
Right.
At present, there is only space for 289 people, and if the number is increased, there is no space to sit for the new legislator. So this is also a reason. Of course, there are two buildings. One is an old building, and the new building is 70-floor structure.
Yes.
This is an administrative building of the Vidhan Bhavan. It will not be demolished. The houses where the legislators sit and they conduct their business, those will be demolished, and that's a need of the time.
Absolutely. And Dr. Krishna, I want to ask you this point about, for the longest time we've been, discussing in Mumbai. I've covered infrastructure in Mumbai. It's, 2 decades, 3 decades ago when the first flyover started to be built there. And Sanjay, of course, was a colleague in Indian Express then at that time. But, we were always told that you need to decongest the city, you need to take it out, you need to take the central offices out, the seat of power must move out of the island city onto the mainland for, development to occur evenly. But this project, like you mentioned, it's 8,000 crore. It's essentially about staying rather than leaving.
Well, I think taking away the state capital, state headquarters to faraway place might inconvenience people.
Right.
So it may be worthwhile keeping it where it is. And I would suggest that residential parts can be removed from there.
Right.
It can be only office space with proper parking and an element of recreation area. Like in Delhi, they have created area where people, common man, can come and enjoy the Central Vista area freely. There are no places of where you have to pay and use or kind of thing. So that vision can definitely be helpful. And as far as the congestion part is concerned, I think mass transportation systems like metro rail and supporting systems, they can resolve the issue of congestion around this area.
Right.
But seat of power has to be somewhere where people can easily come and go, rather than keeping it in a corner somewhere.
Right.
That may not be a good idea, though there is a benefit also, as you rightly said, that it will decongest this area, no doubt, but at the cost of inconvenience to the people. Right. I don't think it will be worthwhile relocating the Mantralaya elsewhere.
So Mantralaya is not going anywhere. And Sanjay, explain to us where this new project, where this new central vista of Mumbai fits in with the larger scheme of infrastructure projects that the government has been working on in the last decade, which is the Trans-Harbour Link, the metro lines that Dr. Krishna mentioned and all of that.
Yeah, Sandeep, can you just tell me, because you have worked in Nariman Point area.
Yes.
You know where right now the Mantralaya and Vidhan Bhavan or the new administrative building are situated.
Yeah.
Just behind, 2 minutes away, there is a metro station which has come up, which is of the Kulaba Sims Metro. Then just about maybe with a drive on a Marine Drive, about the coastal road where it starts, which will be about 10 to 15 minutes. From there, you move into a pollution-free air, and traffic without having any traffic. The coastal road start. Then there has been a plan of just to, when Aditya was environment minister, and prior to that, this idea was being discussed. There is you may have seen the NCPA that side, at the dead end of the sea. I mean the area here, Nariman Point, and one small connector is there from there to Kapparet. So there is a plan to have a kind of a bridge. So again, it will have a kind of a increase in the mobility. As you rightly said, the decongestion is definitely important. Right now, the chorus was basically rising about shifting some of the offices to Navi Mumbai or Thane or other areas, or changing the time so that that there will be a lesser kind of a crowd in public transport. But looking at the very strategically located Mantralaya and around, you will find the new redeveloped or the redeveloped Mantralaya, Vidhan Bhavan, A, will have a more space. B, there will be availability of the public transport around. C, very interestingly, people may find it very convenient also to come to and fro. Maybe now recently that Atal Setu has been constructed. If you take that and somebody is staying in Raigad district or Navi Mumbai, they can hit South Mumbai in 15 minutes, and from there, where again on the PW road there is a congestion, there is a kind of a 2-tunnel project and a flyover which is in making. So again, very interestingly, one, the transport infrastructure leg up is in underway, or the developmental various plan. B, this kind of a Mahavista plan. C, one more thing that we have to discuss. Right now, because one of the the huge, you may have seen, on the Free Press Journal mark, there used to be a multi-story MLA hostel which has been now demolished. And recently, the foundation laying ceremony has taken place. Again, a multi-story, accommodation will come up. So all those legislators will also find it very easy to commute, maybe even by road. This will avoid the traffic congestion which also takes place right now just opposite Mantralaya. And there is another plan. If the newly built Mantralaya and all those structures, they are going to have an underpass, like Delhi's and couple of other cities have. So putting it together, the Mahavista will definitely transform this part of South Mumbai, and this makeover will definitely see that something new that has been created, like on the lines of the Central Vista, by the Mahayuti government, and whatever the government comes in, but they will definitely and certainly take a credit.
Thank you, Sanjay. We are completely out of time, I'm afraid, but interesting points. Mahavista for a Mahayuti Sarkar in Maharashtra. A very interesting development there, a new Central Vista style redevelopment of the southern end of Mumbai, where the power, where the political capital lies. But thank you very much, Sanjay Jog, Dr. Sudhir Krishna, my colleague Kiran Tare, and Kartikeya Sharma. Former Prime Minister Tony Abbott was there at the TV9 Global Summit. In fact, he gave this very clinical assessment of Prime Minister Modi's rise as a politician, the 3 things that set Prime Minister Modi apart as a politician. Let's listen into his interview with Aditya Raj Kaul.
Finally, Honorable Bott, you have had a very important chemistry and friendship with the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi over the years, over the last perhaps a decade. And India-Australia ties have also grown and has had a paradigm shift in these years. How do you see, one, the relationship growing further, trade, economics, the free trade agreement, and apart from that, how do you see leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, because he's going into elections in a couple of months from now, and if pollsters are to be believed, he's certainly going to come back with even bigger margin?
Well, yes, I have a lot of admiration for Narendra Modi, who has been a transformative leader at both a domestic and an international level. And while I don't presume to advise the Indian people on how they should vote, I personally would love to see leadership of Prime Minister Modi's stature continue. The relationship between India and Australia is indeed strong and getting stronger. The people-to-people links are growing all the time, thanks to the ECTA trade agreement, which Prime Minister Modi and I began back in 2014 and which came to fruition more recently. It's all upside in terms of trade and investment, but importantly the security and strategic cooperation is increasing. India is now participating in our major military exercises such as Talisman Sabre. Australia is now participating substantially in India's major exercises, the Malabar exercises. And I would like to see the kind of leadership that Narendra Modi has exercised locally and globally in terms of significant economic reform, in terms of practical measures to help the life of ordinary people, and in terms of being prepared to stand up for justice and decency around the world. I'd like to see more of it. I really would like to see more of it. I think we've seen too many significant leaders who have engaged in false moral equivalence when considering conflicts, who have put geopolitical fashions ahead of the best long-term interests of their people. And to Prime Minister Modi's credit, he's almost never fallen into that trap.